Hey, this is Brenda Meller back again for another LinkedIn profile mini audit for course creators, and I'm joined today by Sheila Koenig. Hey, Sheila, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Great. Well, glad to see you. And for those that haven't heard of you yet, Sheila, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us your name, the name of your business, what do you do, who do you help, and then tell us a little bit about your course as well.
Okay. My name is Sheila Koenig. I am a CPA. I have about 30 years of experience, and 24 years of that was with the IRS. I worked in the appeals division, which means if somebody was audited or if somebody's going to tax court, their case would come to me, and I would see if I could settle the case for them before having to go in front of a judge. So I just quit my job in May of 2025. So I am starting a business on my own. What I saw over my 24 years at the IRS was there's so many small businesses who had no idea what to do for the bookkeeping and they couldn't afford to hire a bookkeeper or CPA or anything like that. So I've created a course, which is a membership, and what you can do is get help on a monthly basis. You can come in twice a month. We have co-working sessions to make sure that you actually get your bookkeeping done. But then I'm also there to answer any questions you have. So I wanted something accessible for people who cannot afford to spend a few $100s a month for a CPA to look at their books or to answer questions for them. I've just seen so many small businesses struggle, and this was something I've been thinking about for years, and I'm finally able to do it now that I've left.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like definitely in demand here. And I'm going to pull up your LinkedIn profile as this is taking just a second to load up on screen here. I'm in the pre-show we were talking a bit and you said you're at the start of your LinkedIn journey. I can see right now you've got 17 connections. Your profile is starting to be built up, which is great because you're at the start of your journey. I can help you out with this, Sheila. So now there's two routes we can take with your profile mini audit. One is if you have any specific questions that you're looking to get answered, and the other is I can just look through your profile and give you some pointers. Do you have a preference on either route?
Anything that you have to say, I will take because I didn't even know how to use LinkedIn before a month ago. So I am just trying to figure out how to even navigate it and add everything to it. So any advice I appreciate.
Okay, wonderful. And it sounds like your target audience is small business owners who need help with bookkeeping, and the goal here is to try to get them to enroll in your group coaching program. Is that correct?
That is one of them. I also am going to do tax resolution work. So somebody who's being audited by the IRS needs somebody to represent them and help them out. That's going to be half of it. So half of it tax resolution, half of it helping the small business with their bookkeeping to make sure they don't get in the situation where they do get audited eventually.
Wonderful. And you work with businesses across the US or only in Texas?
Across the US, everything's done virtually.
Okay, good. That's wonderful. I could definitely, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I might have people in the future. I hope that I won't have to send to you, but as a resource to know someone like you who exists and that can work with people virtually, I think that's great. Okay, so the good thing is that you're at the start of your LinkedIn journey, and I want to give you some pointers to how to really help you to make LinkedIn work for you successfully based on what I'm seeing on your profile right now. So, first thing I noticed is you've got 17 connections. So, I'm going to give you a homework assignment, which is to connect to as many people as you know as possible. I believe right now with the free basic version of LinkedIn that you're using, I think you can send out 100 invitation requests per week in total. I have heard some people say you can send more if they get accepted, but you're going to run up against that. There's a threshold of how many that you can send. More importantly, is we want to focus on network growth here and focus on the people that you know as you're growing your LinkedIn network. Now, with the free basic version of LinkedIn, you can add a note to 5 invitations per month. At this point, since you're focusing on people that you know, you're not really going to need that add a note feature. But what I would do is after they accept, message them back. Thanks, Brenda. Great to connect with you here on LinkedIn. And it was a pleasure meeting you through Masha Gowen's program. And we're doing that because at this moment in time, Sheila, we both remember where we met 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, even. We might go, I know I'm connected, but I can't remember where I know her from. So if we can have that messaging history, that helps both of us. So does that make sense so far?
Absolutely. And I completely, I can't remember what I did last week. So yeah.
Right? There you go. And part of the reason I want to try to get you focusing on growing your network with people you know is right now you have 17 connections. I'm highlighting it on screen. When you get to 500 connections on LinkedIn, it'll say 500 plus connections. So it's almost like LinkedIn is drawing a line in the sand saying we want to try to get to everybody to get to 500 because once you've gotten to 500, it says 500 plus. So it's like you've earned that good housekeeping seal of approval, so to speak, by having the 500 plus connections. Also, the more connections you have, the more people that could potentially see your profile or see your posts and see your activity on the platform. So, focusing on starting to grow your network with the people that you know is probably the easiest thing. If I were you, I would think about people that you've worked with in the past. You could think about current clients or prospective clients, people that you're in conversations with, people that you belong to a professional organization with, maybe even thinking back to when you earned your CPA, fellow students who were going through that same path of you at the same time, because you never know, you might be able to refer business back and forth to each other. Or if there are others that you worked with that are on LinkedIn and active and that you'd like to connect with, you could look at some of those old coworkers as well, especially people that maybe like you have moved on from there. So that'll be number one homework assignment for you is to grow your network, making it a goal to get to 500 connections as quickly as you can, but knowing that even 100 connections per week might feel like a lot. So set a goal, maybe even by the end of the year. As we're recording this today, it's August 4th. So maybe by December 31st to try to get to 500 connections. Does that sound reasonable for you, Sheila?
Yes, that's a little more because I'm like, oh, as quick as I can. That's a lot, but by the end of the year, it's much more doable.
Yeah. And keep in mind too, every time you go into a Zoom session that has an open chat or you're in a networking event in person, just remind people, I'm getting started on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect with you there. So just try to grow your network with the people that you're coming into contact with. Okay, so that's the first point. My second point for you is really focused on profile optimization. And I want to say, as it relates to your course that you already have developed and there's open enrollment ongoing, but also the services that you're offering. So I want you to look through your profile, and there's a few sections in here that you can add in information to make it easy for people to do business with you or to learn more about doing business with you. The first is your about section. And I want you to think about in the beginning of the call when I asked you to describe yourself. What do you do? Who do you help? What do you help them with? And you gave us some information. You did not say strategic and detail oriented finance. You didn't say that. You gave us your elevator pitch. You gave us that description. So I would encourage you to write your about statement as if you're speaking to your ideal target audience. And there were even some things that you've already said, like, for example, are you a small business owner struggling with bookkeeping? I can help. As an experienced finance professional with over 25 years of experience in accounting, tax compliance, and financial operations, I help small business owners and individuals with, and then you could kind of list out those services, right? Through my online course as well as through one to one coaching and services. To learn more, now you got to weave in your call to action. And you want to include at least one of these three, a website where people can go to learn more. I see that you have checkingatchoicebookkeeping.com, or it could be an email address to reach out to you, or a phone number. And it can certainly be all three, but make sure you have at least one of those calls to action in your about section. Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And then scrolling down on your profile, I'm going now into your experience section. This is going to be my other tip for you, which is I would highly recommend getting a company page set up for your bookkeeping company because of the fact that right now we've got this gray avatar next to it. As opposed to you see IRS, we've got the IRS logo on it. If you had other companies that were listed, those would be in there as well. And having a logo next to your company name, it just gives people that warm, fuzzy feeling. This is a legitimate business. This is actually a role that she has worked in, or in this case, this business is a full-fledged business. It's not something she's working out of a shoebox in her basement. It's a fully fledged business operation. To set up a company page on LinkedIn, Sheila, it is free. And I'll remind you this session is being recorded. I'll send you a YouTube link later on today. And you can rewatch this again. But what you'll need to do is have a company logo, first of all. So 300 by 300 square is ideal. You can see how the IRS logo is sized in here. And then you're going to go under the for business icon. So in your top menu bar, home, my network, jobs, etc., go under for business. You're going to scroll down to the bottom where it says create a company page. You're going to choose company as the page type, fill in your business name. It will auto-populate the URL for your company page. If you have a website, which you do, you'll fill it in there. You'll choose the industry, probably accounting will be listed in there. Organization size, if it's just you, don't overthink it, 0 to 1. Organization type, choose the one that fits best with you. I'm going to choose privately held as an example. You'll upload your logo, and then you'll click I verify I'm an authorized representative, and then create the page. From there, now you'll have a company page on LinkedIn that you can now go back to your experience section. You can edit by clicking on that pencil icon, and then you can get it linked to your company page. That will then display your logo next to checking it twice bookkeeping in here, and it'll also display your logo in the top header card. Okay. So getting that company page set up early on in the process is really critical because we want people to know this is an official business that you have been running for the past couple years. And again, it gives us that warm, fuzzy feeling when we see that logo next to it. Okay, so that'll be a homework assignment for you. How does that sound?
That's easy enough.
Yeah. Okay, good. So far we've talked about growing your network. We've talked about getting your profile optimized and setting up your business page. And the last assignment I'm going to give you here, Sheila, will be some homework, which is just to start getting active in LinkedIn. Now, we all have 24 hours a day. I don't get more, you don't get more. We all get the same 24 hours. So we've got to find the time. We've got to make the time to do this. I would encourage you to spend 15 minutes a day. The first thing you do on LinkedIn is scrolling through the homepage feed. When you see a post from someone you know, you want to give it a like or a reaction. And maybe 2 to 3 times a week, when you see a post that it compels you to want to comment on it, then comment on it. So, for example, if you were to see a post from Masha Goins, you support her, she supports you, you would add a thoughtful comment. That's going to help to increase your visibility. And also, you're training the algorithm. These are the people who I want to see in my homepage feed. So it will start to become more relevant. Right now, I were to guess if you were to go to your homepage, you're going to see a lot of like random ads and posts from people that you don't know because you don't have a large network for one. And if you haven't spent a lot of time in the homepage, the LinkedIn algorithm doesn't know what to send to you. So it's just sending you a bunch of random stuff. So that will train the algorithm, get things more relevant. It's also building up social media karma for people that you interact with. If you interact with Masha's post, she's going to return the favor to you. She's going to be more likely to do that. And then the flip side of this is once a week, I would encourage you to start posting on LinkedIn. Now, are you actively posting on any other social media networks right now, Facebook, Instagram, or any other places, Sheila?
Just a little bit. I'm just starting with, honestly, I've never done social media, LinkedIn, any of that. I've stayed away from all of it. So I'm just
Yeah.
starting to get into all of that.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a pass on posting for now. You can wait, but I do want to encourage you to spend 15 minutes in the homepage. Do it every single day. And at the same time, if you're growing your network, you're going to start to learn and see what are other people posting about. And that's going to help to train your brain on things that work well in LinkedIn posts. Over time, you might find posts that are really relevant to you, and you might go, gosh, maybe I'll just click on repost with your thoughts, and you reshare something out that somebody else has been posting. That's an easy way of finding someone else's content and then helping them to get some additional reach, but also posting for yourself will help you to ease into that posting strategy. But also just pay attention to what other people are posting there, Sheila, because I think that will help you to gain some inspiration. What do people post on LinkedIn? What works and what doesn't work? And then gradually, I'm going to encourage you to dip your toe in that water and try posting yourself. But I would say for now, let's just get into growing your network. Let's spend some time in the homepage feed engaging with others, and then maybe we can put a pin in posting for now. Pick up on that maybe after you've reached those 500 connections even. How does that sound for you?
That sounds good.
Good. I want to make this manageable and I want it to feel like meaningful for you as well. I don't want you just to be posting for posting, but I want you to post when it makes sense for you to do so and when you're comfortable to do so. All right, wonderful. Any final questions before we wrap up here today?
I think my only question I would have about who to connect with. So I started with just, like close friends and that.
Mhm.
Then I knew to kind of go into networking with other people. How do I start finding people, like small businesses that I want to connect with?
Yeah, so once you start spending some time in the homepage feed, you're going to start engaging with other people. You're going to see other people interacting with the same post. So when you click on the likes and reactions, you can see who those people are. After visiting their profiles, you'll be able to, identify who some of those individuals are. You can invite them to connect. Alternatively, you can use the search feature on LinkedIn and you can actually search for people in the homepage. Let me demonstrate this real quick before we wrap up here. Now, you're not necessarily, if you search for the term small business owner, you may or may not find that. But let's say if I search for the word founder, for example, you'll find many people on the platform who have the word founder as a part of it. So once I click on founder, I'm going to click on people and then you can start to apply some of the filters that are in here. So, for example, I'm going to put in Texas, and I would focus on people that are in your targeted geography or even in your hometown, your home state, rather, geography to start with. So now we find that there are all these people who are in Texas who have the word founder as a part of their company name. And now you can use that as a basis for connecting with them. Hi, Andy, we haven't met, but I see that we're both small business owners in Texas. Let's connect on LinkedIn type of a scenario. So I would try to use that filter, but also I would pay attention to posts that are in the homepage feed rather.
Okay.
Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That
Okay,
gives me
wonderful.
some kind of idea because I had no clue.
Yeah, and it can be confusing, but the more time that you spend on LinkedIn, I think the more value you'll see and the more you start to understand what the network is about. Having said that, Sheila, if you ever have any LinkedIn questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'm always happy to help you. Oftentimes I'll have links to blogs or videos answering questions. So if you have any questions along your way, please let me know.
No, thank you. This was so helpful.
Wonderful. All right. And for our audience, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on my podcast, if you're interested in signing up for one of my LinkedIn profile mini audits for course creators, I would encourage you to download the resource below, which is a LinkedIn for course creators checklist. Alternatively, you can go to mellermarketing.com/checklist and you can get your hands on a copy of that. Again, this is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing, helping you to get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.